Good afternoon, members of the Assembly Health Committee, and thank you for holding this hearing today. My name is Susan Rahn, and I reside in Rochester. And today I would like to share with you why I support the Medical Aid to Dying Act and urge you to pass this legislation rather than later. In August of 2013, my world was turned upside down. I had a nagging backache, and it turned out to be stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, and it had spread to my spine and my ribs. I remember sitting in my oncologist office at Memorial Sloan Kettering and hearing my doctor tell me that they would do their best to treat the cancer and keep me comfortable, but it was a terminal illness and there is no cure. Those words were like a punch in my gut, but once I got past the stinging shot, like most cancer patients, I was determined that I was going to be the exception to the rule. I was 43 years old, and I was not ready to die. The first 6 months was a whirlwind for me. I had radiation to my spine to stop the tumor from paralyzing me, and I started on 3 different medications for the cancer. One I happened to be highly allergic to. I ended up having more radiation to my ribs, and then I had the first of 3 surgeries. I had my ovaries removed, and then I had 2 breast surgeries. In the middle of all of this, my husband, that I was married to for less than a year, we found ourselves meeting with an estate planner. We were drafting our wills, and the honeymoon was over. It was when things calmed down that I began reaching out to other women and men with metastatic breast cancer and learning more about the reality of this disease. I also did my own research. And when I learned, mostly through my friendships and those that I've lost, is that metastatic disease will always find its way around whatever treatment that I am put on. It will continue to spread, and eventually it will spread to one of my vital organs. It's going to spread to my brain, it will spread to my lungs, and it could spread to my liver. Until I run out of medical options. I have lost several friends to metastatic breast cancer, 9 in just the last 6 months. The stories I've heard from their loved ones about their death process, it horrifies me. I don't want to die in extreme pain, and I've already begun to experience what that might be like. In 2014, I was hospitalized for uncontrollable pain. I was already taking long and short-acting morphine and Dilaudid for breakthrough pain. It all stopped working. I was put on a morphine pump and eventually sent home with fentanyl patches. The realization of being on that kind of pain medication and knowing that at some point the pain caused by my disease would become too much and much more worse, it's never left my mind. I also learned about Brittany Menard, the young woman with brain cancer who moved to Oregon to use the state's death with dignity law, and about the peace that it gave her and her family. In the past 2 years, I've met people, some of whom were terminally ill, who were vehemently opposed to the aid in dying. They viewed Brittany's decision as giving up, and I've watched some of them pass away too. Fighting the disease until the end and dying with the support of hospice. And I've had occasion to reflect on those interactions, and one thing is clear to me is that those people were able to die in a way that made sense to them, and perhaps maybe in accordance with their faith. They were able to die on their own terms, and the fact is their opposition to aid in dying, it denies me the right to do the same thing. Brittany did not give up. Her quest for aid in dying doesn't make me want to give up either. It's far from it. I want to live every day to the fullest, and when I can no longer bear the suffering that only I will be called on to bear, I want to be the one to say that I've suffered enough, not anyone else. I'm also a Catholic, and I've raised my son to be the same. I believe in miracles, I pray daily, and if a cure was to become available, I would do whatever it takes to get that cure. but at this time there isn't a cure. I don't believe that my God is a merciful God, and he wouldn't want me to suffer even more at the end of my life, as I've already through my diagnosis. More importantly, I have a teenage son. His name's Adam. I've raised him on my own since he was 4. And as with all the big decisions I have made since he was born, I always think of what's best for him as well as for me. I want to have dozens more Mother's Day with my family, and I'm so thankful that I was able to see him graduate from high school, something I didn't think I was going to be able to do. I would love to see him graduate college and medical school, and I would love to hold my grandchildren. This is Adam. But eventually, my treatment options will run out. And what I don't want is to suffer and be in uncontrollable pain when my body shuts down for what could be weeks. And I especially don't want to leave Adam to see this happen to me and have him watch me go through that. You may have heard or read or even feel that Aiden dying is suicide, but I'm here to tell you that it's not suicide at all. Aiden dying is about having end-of-life options, and I want more than anything to live. I'll do whatever treatment options are available to me and any clinical trials that I qualify for. And I will continue to utilize my palliative care team for pain and comfort. But when that all stops working, that's when I want another option. I don't want to suffocate if the cancer invades my lungs. I don't want to starve to death if it takes over my liver. And I don't want to suffer seizures or not know who Adam is if the cancer travels to my brain. My terminal illness has taken so much from me already, and ultimately it's going to take my life. But I want to choose how I will die when my time comes. And that's why I'm here today, and I thank Senator Savino and Assemblymember Pollen for this legislation, and Assemblyman Gottfried for affording me the opportunity to share my story with all of you today. If you have any questions.